Hello there. Welcome back to Cost and Management Accounting N5. We're still working on a paper from June 2021. So today we are going to look at question 3. This is the question that we want to look at. And this question we are going to calculate. We are going to start by calculating the order point. After calculating the order point, we are also going to calculate the economic order quantity. And then we proceed with other questions that we are going to follow. Right. So on the first question, the question reads: Miss Kesh Dikuka owns a business that does upholstering on chairs. Then next sentence: 4 meters squared of material are used to upholster one chair. Production for the year is 650,000 chairs. The business operates for 50 weeks a year. The next paragraph: it costs 80 Rand to place an order. Maximum order time is 4 weeks and the minimum order time is 2 weeks. Maximum production is 1,400 chairs per week and the minimum production is 1,200 chairs per week. Holding costs of stock per annum is equal to 20% of the cost material per meter squared. Material material cost is 125,000 rands per meter squared. So that is what we have in terms of this question 3.1. And then on the required part now, if you go on the required part, it's saying calculate the following and show all the formulas and calculations. The first part, we have got the order point. So order point is the first one that we are going to calculate. So what we are going to do first, we are going to put down the formula for calculating order point, then we calculate the order point. So if we go to the answer section now, you will see that now this is our 3.1.1. So we are going to start on 3.1.1, and it requires us to calculate the order point. So remember the formula that we use to calculate order point. It's maximum usage, maximum usage. Then we multiply by maximum period. Then we multiply by maximum period. We multiply by maximum period. So this is what we have in terms of the calculation of order point. So what we're going to do first, we are going to try to calculate the figure for maximum usage. So we go back to the question, try to find what the figure we have for maximum usage. So on the maximum usage now, we are told that maximum production is 1,400 here. So that's where we have got the maximum production. 1,400 is for chairs per week. But if you go up there, you'd see that we have 4 meters squared of material being used to upholster one chair. So for one chair, we've got 4 meters squared. So what about for 1,400? So we are going to say 1,400, then you multiply by 4 to get the total maximum usage. So if you multiply the two, you are going to get 5,600. So here it's going to be 5,600 meter squared. So that's what we have. So this is going to be our maximum usage. And then we can just go there and put that one as our maximum usage. So if you come here now, we are saying maximum usage is being represented by so now it's equal to 5,600 meters squared, representing our maximum usage. And then we are supposed to multiply by this one, which is the maximum period. So for the maximum period, we go back again to check what we have in terms of the maximum period. So you would see that we are given that maximum order time is 4 weeks here. So this is going to be our maximum period, 4 weeks. So we go back, I will substitute that one for maximum period, which is 4 weeks. So it's times 4. So when you calculate that one, it's going to give you 22,400 meters squared. So here we have got 22,400. meter squared. So this is what we have in terms of the order points. Then we move on to the next one. So if we go to the next question, the next question is here, is requiring us to calculate the economic order quantity. So what we are going to do first, we are going to put down again the formula for calculating economic order quantity. So then after we have put down the formula, then we can substitute the figures that we'll be having in that formula. So if we come on the answer section here, we are now on 3. Second part now is 3.1.2. So we have got economic order quantity, economic order quantity. So sorry, here we have got economic order quantity. So we have economic order quantity. So the formula for economic order quantity is root of 2. Root of 2, we multiply by the annual consumption. We multiply by the annual consumption. So this is going to be our numerator, annual consumption. And then after multiplying by annual consumption, you also multiply by order cost. This is our numerator. So this is going to be our numerator. Then our denominator is going to be the holding cost. Holding cost. So so that's what we have. And then now on the second part, now we are now saying it's equal to root of 2 is given. Then we multiply by the annual consumption. So for the annual consumption, we are going to go back there and see how we can find that annual consumption. How we can find the annual consumption. Then we try to find out where we have got details of annual. So for annual consumption, we are told that here we are told that production for the year is 650,000 shares. So this is going to be give us the hint of annual consumption. But here we're given the shares, we need to convert it to a meter squared, and we are told that each share got 4 meters squared. So what we are going to do for annual consumption now, we are going to say the total number of shares that we have annually. We multiply by the meter squared that we have per share, which is 4. So if you multiply the 2, you are going to get 2,600,000 meter squared. So that's what we have in terms of annual consumption. So we can go back there to put our figure for annual consumption. So annual consumption is here. So we are going to say now 2,600,000 meter squared, 2,600,000 meter squared. And then we also multiply by the order cost. So for the order cost, again, we go back to check what we have in terms of order cost. Order cost, we are given it here is it costs 80 rand to place an order. So this is going to be our order cost again. So we go back to just substitute that one for order cost. Then we multiply by 80. And then this is going to be our numerator. Then our denominator is the holding cost. So we go back to the question to find out what we have in terms of holding cost. Holding cost, we are given the information here on the last sentence. Holding cost of stock per annum is equal to 20% of the cost material per meter squared. Material cost is 125 rands per meter squared. So here we are given the index 20% of this figure. So for the holding cost now, to calculate the holding cost, we are now saying it is equal to 0.2. 20% as a decimal becomes 0.2. Then you say 0.2, then you multiply by 125. Then the answer that you get is going to be a holding cost. So if you multiply the 2 there, you're going to get 25. So this is our holding cost. So we are just going to substitute that one so to become our holding cost. So we have 25 as our denominator here. So we can calculate there now. So the simplest way is to first multiply the numerator so that you get the answer for the numerator. Then you calculate the denominator now. then you now say the numerator divided by the denominator to get the answer. So if you do that, calculate that correctly, you are going to get 4,079.21 meter squared. So this is our economic order quantity. So 3.1.2 is now done. Then we go to the next question. We are going to try to find out what we have in terms of the next question. If we go back to the question, the next question now, we have got the maximum stock. So maximum stock is going to be the final or the first part. Maximum stock, we are going to put down again the formula for calculating maximum stock. So what we are going to do next now is 3.1.3, and it requires us to calculate the maximum stock. So the formula for maximum stock is order points, then you add the economic order quantity, then you add the economic order quantity. You add the economic order quantity, then you subtract minimum usage, then you subtract minimum usage, then minimum usage times minimum period, minimum usage times minimum period. So this is the formula that we have in terms of calculating maximum stock. So, but these figures, you already have them. Order point, we calculated it. Economic order quantity, we calculated it. Then minimum usage, you're going to check it from the question. Minimum period, we also take it from the question. So let's check the figure that we have for order points. The figure that we have for order point there. We go up to check what we found in terms of order point. Order point is 22,400. 22,400. Then economic order quantity is here 4,079.21. So we are going to substitute those figures there. Order points. So now we are here. We say equal. Our order points. We found it as 22,400. So we are going to say 22,400. 22,400 there. 2,400, and then we add the economic order quantity, which is 4,079 here, 4,079.21, and then we subtract in brackets minimum usage. We go back to the question. We are saying minimum usage times minimum period. So we are going to find out in terms of those figures that we have in the question. We go up there to see what we have. So you'd see that in terms of periods, maximum is 4 weeks, and then minimum is 2 weeks. So this 2 is going to be our minimum period. Then we have got minimum usage also is given next. Maximum production is 1,400. So the minimum is given next, which is 1,200. Minimum production is 1,200 shares per week. So this is going to be our minimum. So basically what we are going to do, you're going to say 1,200. Then we 1,200 representing our chairs. So the minimum usage now, this one is given in terms of chairs. So we need to convert it to meter squared. And we are told that 4 meters squared of material represent 1 chair. So for 1,200, we are now going to say 1,200 there. We say 1,200. Then we multiply by 4, which is this one, to get the total meter squared. So if you multiply the 2, you're going to get 4,800 meter squared. So this is our minimum usage. So minimum usage 4,800. Then max minimum order 2 weeks. So it's going to be 4,800 times 2 in those brackets. So we go back there. So now we're saying 4,800. Then you multiply by 2 in our brackets. 4,800 being the minimum usage, minimum period being 2. So that's what we have there. So we try to see what we are going to get there. If you go down, you'd see that if you say 22,400 plus 4,079.21, here the answer that you are going to get is 26,479.21. Then you subtract 4,800 times 2. So you say 4,800 times 2, you are going to get 9,600. 9,600, obviously. It's these two answers are in meter squared. So maybe to show that they are in meter squared, we say this one, they are all in meter squared. So now we subtract 26,479.21 minus 9,600. We are going to get 16,879.21 meter squared. So that's the final answer that we have in terms of the maximum stock. So this is our maximum stock, 16,879.21 meter squared. So this is what we have. Then we go again to check the next question that we have there. You would see that we've got another question that is following this one on the same question, that is question 3. We have got 3.2. 3.2 reads, Millie Manufacturers produces charm bracelets. The following information was supplied to you. We've got total variable costs, we've got total fixed costs, we've got units produced, 25,000. Then required, in brackets, show all the calculations. That is exactly what we are going to do. Then 3.2.1 reads, calculate the fixed cost per unit. But when it's per unit, it means we are going to divide by the total number of units. Total number of units, obviously, is going to be the denominator, which is 25,000. Then the total fixed cost, obviously, will become the numerator. So we have here total fixed cost, which is 100,000. But obviously, as usual, we are going to start by putting down the formula for calculating the fixed cost per unit. You come here. This is now 3.2.1. So this is fixed cost per unit. So obviously, we are going to say total fixed cost. Then we divide by number of units that we are given in the question. Obviously, this number of units represent the total. Then our total fixed cost, now we go back to check what figure do we have for total fixed costs and number of units. Total fixed cost is here 100,000, and then number of units is here 25,000. So we are just going to substitute that one. Very simple. We are going to say 100,000 here, and then we divide by 25,000. And obviously, the answer that we are going to get is 4 rand. So that's what we have in terms of 3.2.1. Then obviously, we are going to move to the next one. Go back to check the next question that we have. We have now calculated the variable cost per unit again. It's per unit, so we're going to divide by the total number of units, which is 25,000 again. Then it's going to be our numerator, our denominator. Then our numerator is total variable cost. So according to the question, total variable cost is 200,000. So obviously now this is now the variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit now, and this is 3.2.2. So we have 3.2.2. So this is variable costs per unit, and we are saying it's total variable costs that you are given over number of units. Here's our formula. Then our total variable costs, we recheck the actual figures that we are given in the question. Our variable cost we are given is 200,000. Then units we have got 25,000. So that's what we are just going to substitute there. We have here we come here, we have got 200,000 is our numerator, and then number of units obviously there we have 25,000. Then when we do that, when we calculate that one, we are going to get 8 rand. So it's going to be 8 rand per unit, obviously. And the here on fixed cost is 4 rand per unit again. 4 rand per unit. Here maybe you can represent it as per unit. So that's what we have there. So we go down to the next question. If you go down to the next question now, it's 3.2.2. 3.2.3, 3.2.3. We go back to check what we have in terms of this question. 3.2.3 reads, calculate the total fixed costs if 10,000 bracelets were produced. This fixed cost, remember, fixed cost does not change with the level of production. Whether you don't produce anything, you produce 0 units, you have the same amount of fixed costs. Whether you produce 1 million units, you have the amount of fixed costs. So it's not going to change. It's 100,000. So here on this one, we are just going to put 100,000. It's not going. It's fixed, so it doesn't change. So you've got 100,000. 100,000. Then we go to the next one, 3.2.4. 3.2.4 now says, if you come here, it's saying, calculate the variable costs. Let's try to see. If 30,000 bracelets were produced, variable cost now varies with the level of production. So what we are going to do is we are going to say variable cost per unit times the number that we are given there with 30,000 to get the variable cost for 30,000 bracelets. So remember, variable cost per unit, we got. Can go back there. Variable cost per unit, it's 8 rand per unit. So that's the figure that we have. So we are going to say 8 rand times 30,000. So here we are going to say 8 rand times 30,000. Then what you get there is 240,000 rands. So that's what we have in terms of that one. Then we'll check the next one. The next question. The next question is calculate the total cost of 30,000 bracelets which were produced. Remember, fixed cost we said it does not change, it's 100,000. And then variable cost, we add the total that we got by saying 30,000 times 8. So for total cost now, we are going to say 100,000. This is now 3.2.5. So we are going to say 100,000, which is this one for 30,000 units. And then we add this one, variable cost for 30,000 units, which is 240,000. And then the answer that you get is 340,000. So this is what we have in terms of this question 3 of June 2021. Thank you for listening. Those of you who have subscribed, please subscribe and share. We meet again in the next video as we prepare for our next videos. With that, I'm signing out.